Do a review of this 10-inch Craftsman bandsaw. For one, you're probably going to have to order the blades for it on Amazon. They're nearly impossible to find. It uses a 56 7/8, and there's a brand on Amazon that I bought that's like super cut, 3-wheel, something like that. They make it takes forever to get the blades, but they're pretty good. Now, one disadvantage to this is you can't adjust the pitch of this wheel at all. It's just on a bearing, so if the bearing's shot, you're pretty much screwed. You're going to get in that bearing. Obviously, it runs off of like a 3-wheel deal, so it's a 1/5 of a horsepower. I've cut a couple of 1.5-inch boards with it. It did okay. I would say this is kind of a disadvantage as it has no way of letting the dust escape. It has these 2 ports down here, but as you can see, it doesn't all make it out of it. It shouldn't, you know, an awful thing, as long as you clean it regularly. Let me throw this wing nut in here real quick, and I'll show you how well it works. Okay, so I've got it back together. That's what it looks like. You see these things on Craigslist all the time. I made a new block, I don't know what that's called, but the one that was in there is pretty tore up and it wasn't doing a very good job. So I also made a 0 clearance board. I think that's what it's called. I put a little piece of plywood in there just to kind of fit in that groove, because I'm going to build a fence for it. That's the stop block for it, and then I was going to use my miter gauge after I route this out and put a fence on it, and that way I can make perfect straight cuts real quick and easy. But let me fire it up real quick and I'll show you how well it works. Throw something in here, I think it's 5/8 plywood. I mean, it's not bad. I really like it. You know, for a beginning person like me, like I've never really used a bandsaw, so I've been making a few things here lately. This is kind of a deal from my vice grips because I have a ton of these, but I was making a small container for them all with different slots, kind of an organizer. But if you see one of these on Craigslist, you know, just check them out, make sure the bearings are good, and you know, make sure the motor's sound. But I'd say give it a shot, because I don't feel scared using this thing at all, and I think it's a great introductory tool to a big bandsaw. So I don't know what more I can say about it. It's got a couple of spots that you can bolt it down to a table, but really it's heavy enough by itself where it sits there. I mean, I'm sure if you fed a giant board through it, it might do something, but I probably put a sheet through it that was maybe 3 foot long, and you know, shoved it through the whole thing and never tilted, never fought me or anything. So as far as the blades go, I don't really know when they go bad, since I'm kind of new to this. But you know, as far as setting it up, the guides are right there, which I actually probably need to make a little bit closer. The only thing I would complain about is you can't move this head back any farther. So these guides are almost riding on the teeth, which I'm not real happy about, but there's nothing you can do with it. I mean, like I said, this was actually a free saw to me. The thrust bearing, you can see it over here, and that's another thing to look for. Make sure that still spins. And the other one is down here. And then as far as your table adjustments go, it's these 2 knobs here, and you can pivot the table. I haven't really messed with that. I don't really have a need for it yet. But you know, it doesn't take up a lot of room either, which is a really nice thing. I mean, I've got it on my little workbench that I made a while ago. It's not real cumbersome. So, you know, like I said, if you see one of these on Craigslist, don't be afraid to pick it up, because I've been pretty impressed with it. So I'm impressed enough where I might actually just go and get a one of those big 14-inch grizzly bandsaws or something like that, because I found this thing is really great for making stuff. I'm planning on making more of those, and the whole reason I got a bandsaw to begin with is because I made those cuts with a jigsaw, and the jigsaw just, because of its oscillating pattern, just ripped them out. So one of them, you can see right there in the middle, just took a chunk of it out, and they just look clean like crap. And this thing, it makes super smooth cuts. This is a 6 TPI blade, 1/4 inch thick, and I'm really impressed with it. And I love how quiet it is. I mean, I've got a couple other saws. You know, I got my table saw over there if I need it. If I really need to get into some crazy stuff, I got my radial arm saw over there. So I got a couple of things, but I bet 90% of the stuff I've done lately, I have used this little guy, and I've really fallen in love with him. So I don't know what else to include. The tension is set back here on this wheel, and you know, obviously, if you know how to set one of the tension up on one of these things, it's not a big deal in this. You know, just tighten and loosen. Obviously, it's got a set screw here. So, I guess that's about it. I can't think of anything else I need to go over. So, yeah, if you see one of these, don't be afraid to pick it up. That's all I can say. Pretty sure I've said that like a dozen times. But it's really an awesome saw. So there you go. Thanks for watching.